at the Ted Cruz Watch Party, where we are seeing the first round of results right now roll in. Supporters here celebrated the re-election of the incumbent governor, Greg Abbott. They're a staunch Republican who has shared a lot of common values with the incumbent Senator Ted Cruz. We are still waiting on a lot of the early results to roll in from the western part of the state, where there's a time change and some of the polls close later.
So too early to say. Again, similar story where you are, the turnout much higher than the previous midterm election.
Significantly higher than previous years. The last midterm election, being 2014, didn't even compare to the early voting and voting that we saw today. Early voting compared to 2016, about on par, but compared to 2012, a presidential year here in the United States, significantly higher for this round of midterms. That's because voters here in Texas, with this highly watched race, know that a lot is on the line, and with a ton of national attention on their choice for their junior senator, they are going to the polls and they are making sure that they make their voice heard in this highly anticipated race.
Is it about Texas, this race, this Senate race? Is it about the two personalities, O'Rourke versus Cruz? Or is it a signifier of something that's happening more broadly in the United States?
I think the nation's attention on this race is a signifier of what's going on around the country, a look to flip this and oppose this ultra-conservatism. I mean, you know, from the voters that I've spoken to here in Texas, many longtime middle ground Republicans are having a hard time with the hyper-conservatism of Ted Cruz as incumbent senator. And that's why they are looking to the progressive rhetoric and progressive values of Beto O'Rourke, thinking that possibly he could be a sensible choice. I mean, these two candidates could not be more apart. On one side, you have a progressive candidate who's running a grassroots campaign, who's, you know, appealing to the youth. On the other side, you have a hyper-conservative who has foundations in the Tea Party and has really turned himself into being a supporter of the president.
We'll be checking back in with you as more returns come in from the western part of the state. Many thanks for that, Brian Thompson there, are reporting from Houston at Ted Cruz headquarters.